Happy Valentine's Day!
Woo-hoo! Yes! Welcome to our second episode of 5-Minute Love Spell. Last week, we talked about 3 fire starters helping you reignite the flames of passion in your marriage. Just simple ideas, giving you a little sizzle and a little pop to that marriage.
You know, but I can hear people saying, Brian, Nia, that sounds great, but we don't even have matches. We don't have flames.
Yeah.
We don't have sparks. We're just dealing with ashes. You know, and you've become so accustomed to that to where now it's your new normal.
Yeah, like you couldn't even imagine, like the idea of you and your spouse engaging in those types of activities are just so far removed. But I bet if you're honest and if you search down deep inside, you would love to do those things with your spouse.
Right, and see, we know and we believe that God can turn that right around,
Yes,
no
He can.
matter what the current circumstance. You see, we're all about winning marriages, but not just the marriages that are winning, but winning over marriage.
That's right. And no matter where you fall on the spectrum, this video is for you.
It's for you.
Enjoy.
2 powers to a winning marriage. We've developed 9 powers to a winning marriage, but for the sake of time, we will touch on 2 of them. Brought to you by Song of Solomon 1 verse 2.
Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth.
For your love is better than wine.
We believe that when the honeymoon ends and when we start doing life together, things become busy, kids come into the mix, we begin to get lax, and we start creating bad habits with one another.
We actually lose those basic foundational practices we once engaged in before and in the beginning of our I do's, but allow us to reintroduce you to 2 of them.
Now on the onset, they may seem rather elementary, but trust, they carry the power to transform the dynamics of your marriage, shifting you right back into a feels like you're dating again mode.
It's time to wake up your butterflies. Let's go.
The power of touch. In 1944, an experiment was conducted on orphan babies to determine whether individuals could thrive alone on basic physiological needs without affection. 20 newborns only received care for their basic needs. They were fed, bathed, and diapers were changed, but caregivers were strictly prohibited from touching them more than what was necessary.
At the end of the experiment, half of the babies died. It was determined there are neurochemical effects of physical touch and that nurturing is actually a very vital human need.
Ask yourself, outside of sex, how often do I intimately touch my spouse? The absence or lack of physical touch retards the growth and development of the highest potential of your marriage. Physical touch unleashes your built-in love potion, oxytocin, which is the hormone primarily responsible for orgasm.
Now you can take a praise break right now for that alone. It's important to engage in physical touch as often as possible. All you need are your hands and your body. Realize that touch is not just for the recipient, but it's a release for you to express your love and desires. The giver of the touch has charged energy that needs a release. Take electricity, for example. Electricity is a form of energy from charged particles. These charged particles, just like our desires, have a need to be grounded. Grounding is a method of giving electricity the most effective way to return to the earth.
We were all created from the earth, so your spouse is your earth and ready to ground your electrical release. The desires of the giver to touch and of the receiver to be touched are both designed by God. So you see, physical touch is a language on its own, and God knew just what we needed for and from our spouse.
The power of eye contact. There is a saying that the eye is the window to the soul.
And a scripture that says, the eye is the lamp of the body.
The eyes are an entrance to our heart and mind. Eye contact is intense, very intimate, it asserts power, and can also be very intimidating.
Next time you're in conversation with someone, engage in eye contact and observe how often either you or the other person looks away to take a break.
And so it is in marriage. Intimate eye contact is very powerful for married couples. Marriage is a God-ordained platform where eye contact is used as a way to not only look at my spouse, but to look intimately into my spouse, communicating my desire.
Ask yourself, outside of discussing business matters, the kids, or even arguing, do I engage in intimate eye contact with my spouse?
From across the room, my wife can simply look at me and by her gaze communicate what she's going to do to me, where she's going to do it to me, and how.
Exactly. And likewise, my husband with those eyes can penetrate the very core of my inner being without speaking a word or physically physically touching me.
Now that's the power of intimate eye contact.
Now remember, if you are wanting your marriage to win, this is not about your spouse's response, but this is more about you and what you are willing to release and new practices you are willing to implement to change your marriage around for the better.
After this video, we've listed some ideas on how you can begin today to incorporate the power of touch and eye contact in your marriage. Feel free to pause the video to write them down.
Constant demonstration of eye contact and physical touch are contributing factors hinged to the success of a winning marriage.
Hey, and that concludes this week's episode of 5-Minute Love Spell. Now tune in next week, next Wednesday, for more fun and romantic tips on love and marriage.